All right, good morning, everybody. We're here for a half hour here, so I hope you're all caffeinated over there. We are hearing from Habitat for Humanity, who is out. The organization is out in the card room this morning, and I suspect everybody has some familiarity with Habitat, but this is their awareness day. But also Habitat came up in conversation yesterday with Maura Collins talking about some of the missing middle money that has been applied for and perhaps granted. All those heads are going. So with that, let's just get going because we do just have the half an hour. And I'm taking it that Zachariah Watson is going to start off, even though I have Cindy Luce as the executive director.
Well, one of the executive directors.
You have 7?
Well, we're all different categories.
Yeah. So how do you want to run this? I have Zach, I have Cindy, Allison, and Rebecca who are listed to testify. So you'll all share the time.
I have a little intro, and then they've got about 2 minutes.
Great.
For everybody. Well,
before we let you start, we're going to go around the table to introduce ourselves, just because this is the first time that's been this year. So Representative Tom Stevens, I represent Waterbury, Bolton, Huntington, and Eagles Gore.
Joe Parsons, Newbury, Thompson, and
Hello, Spring. Emily Krasnow, South Burlington.
Ashley Bartley, Fairfax, Georgia.
Caleb Elder, Starksboro.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Burrows, and I'm your successor. I represent Heartland, West Windsor, and Windsor 1.
birthplace of Vermont. No.
So the highway tells us.
Yes.
I'm Larry Lieber. I represent Essex, Orleans, District 1.
I'm Mary Howard. I represent Rutland City, District 6.
And Robin Chestnut-Tangerman, Rutland Bennington District.
And I'm, hi Zach, hi Cindy. I'm Kathleen James, and I represent Arlington, Manchester, Sandgate, and part of Sunderland.
So welcome.
Thank you. And I will try to go as quickly as possible to maximize the opportunities for other folks to speak. You all have probably heard me talk enough so far, but I've got some notes here. Hello, and thank you very much. Chair Stevens and Vice Chair Chestnut-Tangerman, as well as the members of the House Housing and General Affairs Committee for giving us the opportunity to come and speak with you. My name is Zachariah Watson. I'm the Executive Director for Central Vermont Habitat for Humanity. And I'm joined today by Allison Johnson from Green Mountain Habitat for Humanity, Cindy Luce from Bennington Habitat for Humanity, and Rebecca Stevens from Rutland Habitat for Humanity, as well as former Representative Tommy Walls, who is our Vice President on the Board of Directors for Central Vermont Habitat for Humanity. Unfortunately, we were not able to get members from the Upper Valley Habitat for Humanity, Greater Springfield Upper Valley Habitat for Humanity, and the Addison County Habitat for Humanity to join us today, but we probably don't have enough time anyways. So beyond a handful of other people, you are looking about half of the paid staff for all the affiliates across the state. Our organizations are powered by volunteers, and as you will hear later today during the resolution, since 2010, 23,903 volunteers across Vermont have devoted over 317,000 hours to rehabilitate, recycle, or build 112 housing units for homeownership, and we've repaired an additional 101 unit housing units across the state. So our homes are built by and made affordable because of the help of our volunteers. That's how our work is possible. So we are a 501c3 affordable housing nonprofit. No surprise, not only are we one of the largest and most recognizable household names for affordable homeownership in Vermont, also across the world, thanks in no small part to my favorite president, Jimmy Carter. We also have a very effective model which builds community and takes people out of poverty. So our organization was founded by Miller and Linda Fullard in 1979. They took it upon themselves as their Christian mission to provide homeownership opportunities for people in need of shelter who would otherwise not qualify for a traditional mortgage. And their model was simple: partner with low-income families who are in need of housing, use donations, donated materials, volunteer labor to keep the cost of construction low, and then offer a 0% interest mortgage, which is affordable, less than 30% of their income, and then recycle the mortgage payments back into our homeownership program so we can build more houses. And that's the same model we use today. Of course, prices have gone up quite a bit, so some of that has changed. But so all of our affiliates also have the same requirements of who we partner with for our homeownership program. So all of our partner homeowners have to earn between 30% and 80% of the area median income based on their family size. They must live and or work in our service area. They must be in need of housing. There's not enough bedrooms. The rent is too expensive. There's mold, anything that makes a house not livable. And they also must be willing to partner with us to build their home, which is what we call sweat equity. They literally invest their sweat into their homes. So our focus is on homeownership. Our program is a hand up. It is not a hand out. Our partner homeowners help build their homes. They pay a monthly mortgage, which includes insurance and property taxes. And as a result, they are able to build their own wealth with every mortgage payment they make, and even benefit from a portion of the appreciated value of their homes. It is probably no surprise to you that the largest financial asset for Americans is their home. So we believe strongly that home ownership is a path for people to get out of poverty. So many people know that we build homes and we use volunteers. But you may not realize that we are also non-traditional mortgage lenders, and that some of us originate and service our own mortgages, which plays a big role in how we're able to offer affordable mortgages to income-sensitive Vermonters. We oftentimes provide our own mortgage subsidy. We call it a silent mortgage, but it's our own. It's a subsidy similar to what Vermont Housing and Conservation Board also provides, and the VHCB, the Vermont Housing and Conservation Board mortgage subsidy, also guarantees their homes are perpetually affordable through resale restrictions and shared appreciation or shared equity. So our subsidy, as well as the VHCB subsidy, reduce the mortgage amount from the appraised value of the home to an amount usually between $100,000 and $140,000 to where the monthly mortgage payments are affordable to our homeowners. It's generally how we work. We can come back and talk more about our work at some point. And I do have contact information for all the affiliates, but that's the briefest I can give you about all that. So each affiliate and different regions have different problems that they are and challenges they're experiencing for how we develop and build more homeownership opportunities. So we're going to each talk about our own, what we're working on and the challenges we're experiencing when it comes to building affordable homeownership opportunities. We hope that you will find opportunities within S100 or potential other housing bills to help address some of these challenges we are experiencing so that we can build more houses more quickly and address the housing crisis. Of course, happy to come back later. So in Central Vermont, which is Washington and Orange counties, we are currently building a duplex in Randolph. We also operate a summer home repair program. We're building a home in Berry City next year. That's where we received missing middle dollars to support that with massive site work, demolition and retaining walls and everything like that for an infill project. And we are also at the tail end of a feasibility study for a 115 unit mixed income new neighborhood development right here in Montpelier on Northfield Street. So in addition to VHCB subsidy program, we are also starting to utilize the homeownership tax credit program through the Vermont Housing and Finance Authority. So those are the three programs that we benefit from. In terms of the challenges that we're experiencing, there's a number of them. I'm going to focus on the added cost from the state and 5 costs in particular that are end up being a substantial part of our overall projects. So first is, despite being an affordable housing nonprofit, we are not exempt from paying property taxes while we are building our homes. And so we clearly feel that building houses is within our nonprofit mission, and we should be exempt from paying property taxes while we're building our home. So we hold on to our properties for 2 to 3 years while they're being built, which means that we are easily incorporating up to somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 in property taxes into our construction budgets. So we would love to be exempt from paying property taxes while we're building our homes. It's a very short-term period. The other piece is we also pay a percentage of the cost to build our homes to obtain state construction permits. So for a duplex that we're building in Randolph, this will be over $3,000. It would be great if those, that's another cost. We also pay for a state stormwater permit. It's number 3, excuse me. And this is just to connect to municipal water and sewage, which I think we all agree that's where we want houses to go, is downtown areas where there is water and sewage. So we will pay $870 for our water connection fee, in addition to hiring an engineer to do the design for the connection. This is in addition to $4,000 that we paid for our water location fee for Randolph. Number 4, this is a small one, but I don't think this was the intent. We are paying $200 biannually for the residential contractor registry. Don't think it was ever the intent that we were supposed to be doing that. I don't know if it was, but it's a small amount. It all adds up to something. So number 5, this is the last one. So we only require a $500 down payment from our homeowners, but closing costs are starting to get really high, somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000. So this is becoming another barrier for our homeowners. Our homeowners will pay around $1,500 for a single, so 2 of them together pay around $3,000 for a duplex in property transfer taxes, despite that they received a VHCB mortgage subsidy for the home, which is paid for by the property transfer tax. So it's a cyclical tax process, and doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't quite make sense. This doesn't benefit us at all. This is directly for our homeowners. Although I will say, because our homeowners cannot afford closing costs, we oftentimes are actually offering a closing note for them as well, which they take the first year to pay off. So all these fees equate to around $10,000 per project, which can amount to approximately 2.5% of the cost of a duplex. That's not insignificant. So while we always could use more money, so I don't want to say we don't want more money, we also think that the state could just as easily exempt us from some of these fees and save us $10,000 for our projects. So that's the piece I was going to talk about. I really appreciate you all having me here today, and it's really lovely seeing you all. I'm going to pass it off to Allison Johnson, and she's going to take it from here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as Allison is coming forward, I just want to reintroduce Tommy Walls, who's sitting in the corner, who is an alumni of this committee. And those of us who work with Tommy miss him deeply.
Good
Welcome.
morning. Thank you. My name is Allison Johnson, and I'm from Green Mountain Habitat for Humanity. Our Habitat affiliate serves Chittenden, Franklin, Grand Isle, and Lamoille counties. Since 1984, we have built 112 Habitat homes and helped hundreds of Vermont families become Habitat homeowners. Currently, we are in different phases of building in Shelburne, Colchester, Burlington, South Burlington, Heinsberg, Underhill, Swanton, and Morrisville. I'm here today to share with you the importance of affordable housing and home ownership within the state of Vermont and its positive impacts on our communities. Evidence shows that families who live in unsafe, overcrowded, and expensive rentals often face difficult choices between having to purchase food or go to the doctors or paying their rent. Children living in these same conditions tend to struggle more in school and may experience more mental health challenges. Families who are living in unstable and insecure rental properties are not as engaged in their communities and often will not vote in elections. However, families who become Habitat homeowners become more independent and secure in their future. They can begin to build equity in their home, which allows them to create generational wealth for years to come. Their children feel safer and more secure, knowing that they won't have to move to a new place and a new school when the rent increases. Families begin to see a bright future for themselves and their children. It's an American tradition to create a better future for those that come behind us. And the impact affordable home ownership has on generations of Vermont families, as well as the communities we live in, is immense. While we are all thankful for the affordable housing we have in Vermont, it is subsidized and will eventually be a drain on the state over time. But building affordable homes for Habitat homeowners has long-term sustainability. Because Habitat affiliates receive no funding from Habitat for Humanity International, We must raise all these funds locally within our communities. While this is certainly a challenge for all of us, we also see it as an opportunity to reach deeper into our communities and to have more conversations with our legislators to raise more awareness around this very important mission of providing opportunities for low-income, hardworking Vermont families to enter into home ownership. Thank you.
Thank you. How many homes did you just say over?
We've built at Green Mountain Habitat around 112 homes since 1984.
Do you know roughly how many annually are built statewide?
I can speak for Green Mountain. We usually do about 5 or 6. We're trending upwards to 10 though now.
The Vermont Housing and Conservation, Zach Watson, Vermont Housing and Conservation Board recently asked her to 18-month schedule, and between the 7 affiliates, it was 49 units we're planning for the next 18 months.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh,
I brought props.
yeah.
Visit a cake.
Thank you. I'm Rebecca Stevens, and I'm the Executive Director for Rutland County Habitat for Humanity. And I brought some things for you to see for Rutland County. So the answer to Vermont's housing crisis is affordable long-term housing solutions and home ownership opportunities. However, affordable housing inventory needs to also be increased in order to meet that goal if we're going to meet the crisis here in Vermont. Habitat for Humanity affiliates secure all of their own funding for each home that we build. And Rutland County was established in 2014, and we're just getting ready to finish our 5th house. So we would build a house about every 2 years because we'd have to raise the money and then we build it. So we're getting ready to finish our 5th this year. Sustainable for us, because we have to raise all of our own money, that's what takes the time, and we're locally sourced. So a sustainable funding source would be extremely helpful in allowing us to build homes quicker if we had a place that, we would be able to say, okay, we have it there. But Rutland County also, what we're doing is we're trying to meet the challenge with where we are, with the resources we have. And this is the next house we're building on 3 Hickory. So if you can kind of see it. So it looks like a normal house, vinyl siding. It's going to look like the one right next to it. It's an affordable housing complex called Hickory Street, formerly known as Forest Park. And they're all duplexes in there. And it's focused around sustainable housing. And they donated 3 lots to us so that we're able to build on that for the next 3 years. This house is going to be very unique on the inside because it's going to be insulated concrete form. So we're probably familiar with it in basements here in Vermont, but we're actually going to be building the insulated concrete form all the way to the sill plate for the roof. So this sill plate right here, everything below it to the ground, in the ground, will be insulated concrete forms. So it's like Legos for adults. It's the only thing I can tell you. It's like so much fun. So the reason we're doing this is twofold. One, we do want to build our homes more efficiently. So this will help as far as long-term for homeowners to be able to afford heating, cooling, appliance and things like that, so that their costs going forward for sustainability are less. Everything is half as far as HVAC goes in a home like this because it takes less to cool it, less to heat it. The other thing, and which is another reason we're doing it, is this is going to allow us to build a house in 6 months. And the only way we're going to solve the housing shortage is to actually have inventory. So we're trying to do our part by building as quickly as we can. And on June 3rd, we are going to have a 1-day challenge build. And this house, the entire blue foam envelope, it's going to go up in 1 day. So that by the end of the week, the day June 3rd, and by June 9th, we'll be ready for a roof. And That's how you build in Vermont. You got to get in before the snow. And because we use volunteers, we want to make sure they're indoors and they can do the finish work before it gets cold. And then we'll have a family and hopefully by Christmas. So, okay, thanks guys.
Such a sad comment to think that you need to beat the snow on June 3rd, but.
We know. We're either cleaning up from winter or getting ready for winter. Yes.
I just, thank you. I just want to say that we have one of your homes in my neighborhood.
Wonderful.
And I am very familiar with the one that is in progress right now because I walk my dog by there every day. And so I get to talk to some of the volunteers. And there was one volunteer there in particular who said he had been an attorney. And he said,
That's Norm.
I love doing this.
Yes.
I just love it. They're very friendly, very nice. And it's interesting to watch the progression of the house. So you're going to be starting another one next to it?
Yes, within 3 weeks, Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully as soon as the permits come through, that's the longest process, like Zach said, we're still, tied to all the permit process. And, the costs around that, water and sewer, and I just wrote a $1,500 check for bond so that we can stub into the main lines and, move them out 8 feet. So there is costs associated with all that, but the city's been fabulous supporting us and, helping us move through the system and showing us what we need to do. But no, the volunteers are our lifeblood and they're passionate, and Habitat is passionate about affordable, long-term, sustainable home ownership. And it's where we need to be. So
The future owner
yes,
is working right along with them.
yeah, that's Rose and Josh Tabor. They actually attend my church. We have a very small community in Rutland. And I didn't know that they were getting the house before I took the position. So they were already chosen before I took it. But now I've known them for a while, and Josh is blind and partially deaf. And this is going to be their dream of owning a home. They've never been able to do it and wouldn't be able to do it without Habitat. So it's a phenomenal organization. And we are building communities one house at a time. So it's exciting.
Thank you.
So thank you. And I left this.
Love your prop.
Oh, thank you.
I used to.
Hi, I'm Cindy Luce from Bennington County Habitat. Thank you all for having us. A lot of them have already said a lot of what I was going to say, which is what I want to echo, But, home ownership affordable home ownership is really paramount to the solution for housing crisis that we are having. And, so we at Bennington County, we've been established for 25 years. And we are working on house number 33 and 34 in Manchester in our Jennifer Lane neighborhood. That neighborhood we had 22 houses or lots. And so we're working through those. And we also have 5 lots in Bennington that we're going to be working on. Our goal is to get so that we're building 3 houses a year. So we have a really good core group, but we're working on building up our volunteers and having build days. So we're having some success with having group days come in and help us really get move forward quickly on our houses. So one of the biggest challenges though that I'm having is, this is going to sound weird, but it's finding qualified homeowners, So we are in our application process right now. Our applications are open for about 6 weeks. We're trying this, just having a 6-week window this year. We've sent out 130 applications in the last month, and only 6 of them have come back. So I'm looking to partner with some other housing, organizations, and I'm open, if anybody has suggestions, I'm out there, I would love to hear, because organizations that can help me and help us think about where homeowners, can come from, and what is taking so long with our application, because I'm not really sure. I mean, it's a big application. They come back and they were quite thick, but if there's a way we can kind of think that through, because with having 130 people ask for the application and only getting 6 back so far, is a little concerning to me, because I'm like, okay, what's going on? So, I'm open to thinking about that through. And, just the funding is really important. We were granted missing middle money for the houses that we're building in Manchester, and which is amazing, because it really is going to help with the increased costs that we are facing to make those homes affordable. So I thank you for all of that. I thank you for all your work, and look forward to speaking with you all individually.
Thank you. Take a breath.
I know. I talk really fast, I'm sorry.
No, you didn't have much time. The red light bound, blinking.
Oh, is that what was beeping?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That wasn't us trying to
I I heard it, but I didn't turn to see what it
Good,
was.
good. No, thank you all, and I, without taking as much time as we'd like, I mean, I just want to thank you for your work. I know that it's, appreciate the sweat equity part of it. That's, could be a possibility when people see how much time that they actually have to spend. But whatever, who knows what's going on in the world right now when it comes to this stuff. But thank you for your dedication and your work. You know that your requests need to really go to the Ways and Means Committee. So you'll take care of that, I'm sure.
Sure, yeah.
We'll take care of whatever, you know, the policy and funding we can extract in this, so that funds can remain available. But again, you have a business model that's really heart oriented, and yet, you know, so trying to find a way to deal with this world with that is there's several fine lines in the work, and so I appreciate that you're trying to figure out that way, and what, if not here, then where.
Right.
So
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll leave our contact information with everybody, or there's a
Please do. If you have any of your testimony that is electronic, and you'd like to share it.
Right outside.
Yeah, I'll make sure
on the
everybody
table.
sends their testimony tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
And stop by in the card room, say hi, and we'll be hanging out in the cafeteria as well.
Great.
Committee will be back in here 10 minutes after the floor to take more testimony on S1.
Bring the
Yeah.
dimensional